Cargo. Roger that, ground control. Tower, we are go for launch, over.
Hello. We're here for another Kerfuffle exclusive, here with the perfectly matching topped owners of Dataloft and Damon from Brief Your Market. We all phoned each other up. What are you wearing today, guys? We all said, let's wear black. This is a serious topic, so it needs a serious outfit. And here we are today. Rory, how are you, sir?
I'm very well, very well. The winter is approaching, so it's more like Scottish weather for me, which is good.
Okay, Rory, keep it light. I've told you, don't get dour and don't get dour and Scottish on these occasions, will you? Damon, you too as well. Hopefully the black isn't a sign of this relationship. Come on, put him into it. How happy are you about this, Damon?
Yeah, elated.
Oh, that's anyway. Thank you for that. I hope if you have any questions, please just drop us a line. Right? No, we're not leaving it there. We're not leaving it there because today is all about the way that you two fantastic companies have teamed up together to come up with something really quite innovative and should be quite exciting. If anything, the amount of registrations we had of people looking to get on this webinar it shows it's caught the people's eye, and I think it's caught people's eye because you've used that catnip phrase, haven't you? Hyper-local marketing. And then, you get me like this. Ooh, hyper-local. So it was get more instructions with hyper-local marketing, which I can translate as to, you just need one more instruction to pay for this. Okay, right. Who's going to talk me? Who's going to tell me why it's important to nurture your database? Anybody who's going to step up to the plate?
I think that'll be Rory.
Oh, God, thanks, Tim. That's got to be you.
No, I'm joking. I'll tell you what, Simon, I'm just incredibly impressed at how well prepared you are. So,
thank you. I'm just reading from the questions that you sent me 7 seconds ago. Look, I told you want professionalism, go on Chris Watkins' show. If you want personality, it's here, baby.
I thought Chris had got a better personality than you as well.
Oh, he's got that too. But,
so you've lost at both counts. No, to be serious. Why is it important to nurture your database? It's incredibly important. I think one of the key factors for me to really consider is, as an agency, because you're inundated with incoming leads, that inside your CRM, to keep your database tidy, to just focus on what is hot today, you archive quite a lot of contacts, and therefore, where Brief Your Market really fits in is, focusing on today's business is incredibly important, but there's always tomorrow, and when leads ebb and flow, that's where BYM can be just adding that 20% more, 30% more of leads and inquiries to really bolster the business and drive it forward into hyper growth. So there's loads of factors inside nurturing your database. Obviously, first of all is the quick wins, but then you've got generating more landlords, generating more mortgage renewals, etc., and the plethora of other factors that BYM bring to a business.
So you hit on something there that resonated. Just one thing, but and that was the point where in a CRM system, in days gone old, users would hate. Actually, a bit worse than that. They would be terrified of putting stuff into the archive because it was lost forever. Now, the good news is with modern day CRM systems is that actually it is easy to recover it. But quite often it does become that out of sight, out of mind, don't they? And people just, once they put it into there, that's a vital part of what BYM is all about, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%, Simon. I think you said one thing because that's the only thing you could attain in your mind. So everything else had dissipated. If I
want the truth, I was looking at this. I'll just say this, but I don't.
Modern CRM systems do a great job, and I think their job is to focus on, as we all know, agency is incredibly busy, not just from leads, but from all the other back office processes that you've got to do. You can attain them quickly, but it's about leaving automation to continually communicate with that level of individual So when they are in that position to do something with your business, you're forefront of mind. And we see that time and time again. You know, I was doing some stats before I came on here today. BYM last year sent 197 million emails.
So you're responsible for my inbox.
Well, yeah. Or maybe not. Maybe that's a different webinar, Simon.
Oh, okay.
And I think just to show that it's not junk is, you know, on average for our customers, we get an 8x return on investment. So every pound you get £8 back. So, you know, we really are focused on ensuring that we send in the right communication at the right time to the right person. And that just shows demonstrably in all the return on investment stats that we produce on our ROI dashboards every second of every day.
Yeah, I think I was just going to say the bit about staying in touch is key for me, because, I mean, you never know when someone's going to move, do you? I mean, everyone says, oh, people are staying longer in their homes, but, you know, things happen in life. You have kids, there's deaths, there's, you know, you could put your property on the market within a week, or you could take years. And the point is, you know, if you keep that communication going and keep in touch and, you know, keep that conversation going, then you're going to be on their radar and you're going to be front of mind. And that's all you can do as an agent, isn't it? You want to be in that kind of top three. When I get around to selling my house or whatever, I definitely get in touch with them. And that's, and I still think that, I mean, Damon and Briefly Market guys do a great job with so many agents, but I do think there's still so many agents that don't do that. They don't send out regular emails, or they're sporadic, or they never do them at all. So it's a really easy way of just reminding people how good you are, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point, Rory. I think, you know, when we founded the business back in, I noticed on Whaley's website it said 2008. It was actually 2009, but I didn't want to just point another thing Whaley had done wrong. So,
just used a random number generator, to be honest.
Yeah. And we started really addressing agency, and again, big kudos to Simon from Reap It at the time. We were educating the market on why digital marketing were important, and that seems quite strange when we sit here today. And I think, you know, we've had quite a lot of facets where the market's learned. We've also seen GDPR, why we say it professionalized our industry, and then COVID was like a really big thing as well, where people said, well, hold on a minute, you know, when the world stops and I can't talk to anyone, then how do I talk to somebody in a nascent way? So, yeah, I mean, we currently service 4,500 branches in BYM and 3,500 or 3,200 in Yondell. And there's still a lot more that we can do, and a lot of value that we can add to businesses, especially coupled with the fantastic hyper-localized content that Dataloft provide.
Lovely. Right. What kind of content do people want to receive by email? How you mentioned there, Damon, it's all about being, again, let's just keep using the word hyper relevant. And famously, you had the preference center in Brief Your Market that allowed people to do that. But it's more than that anyway, isn't it? It's just about making sure that the information that they want to see gets delivered to them at the right time. But what? How has that evolved over time? What are people wanting to see now?
Yeah, I think it goes back to that point, which is it's about the right content at the right time. So, you know, if you're up for a mortgage renewal, then hey, it's quite obvious you want to see mortgage content. You know, and if you're in that zone that we talked about a minute ago, where you're thinking about moving, then, you know, the fantastic content that Dataloft provides, that's all about key market statistics and, you know, what the average house price is, what the average time to move is, and really putting that in a very simple infographic, because everyone wants it in a moment in time, you know, that people don't enjoy reading as much as they used to 20 years ago. So yeah, all those key attributes, I think that's what we agonize over, and I know Dataloft agonize over as well, which is what is exactly the right content pivoted on the right moment in time from the agent's database. And when you dovetail those two things together, you really start to achieve some fantastic results. And I was just going to add in that, although we've not had approval to say this, because one of the first customers that we started working with Brief Your Market and Dataloft, utilizing comms managed and the great content that we get from Dataloft Inform, generated 146 instructions in 2021. So, this is what I love about being in digital, is you can't make this stuff up. It's actually there. Is not, it's absolutely tangible. And when you achieve results like that, you kind of just want to get the message out there more and more.
Yeah, I would go sorry, Simon, can I just, I would actually say, what kind of content do people want to receive? I think people only want to receive something that's actually useful and relevant to them. I would actually go that far. So there's no point just sending information about you as a company. Actually, you can do that. You can mix, obviously you need to mix things up. And there's times when it's nice to say you've won an award and stuff, and that's really important. But the more relevant, the more useful, the more they're likely to read the email. Yeah. And like the ultimate one to me that springs to mind is Savills. And I know I often mention Savills, but every Friday I get the email from the head of research, who's a friend of mine, Lucian Cook, and it's an update of the market. And there's no selling of Savills on it. It's like that, selling more by almost selling less.
Thought leadership and expertise just makes people want to listen to it.
It's just a roundup of the market, and it's a roundup of the prime market, because the people that they're nurturing, I don't know why they've got me on the database, but the people they're nurturing is wealthy people buying nice houses in places like Winchester and prime central London. And there's not really a big call to action or anything. It's just a sharing of information. But people, they want to read it. They're interested in it. And they've just got... And so you get a lot of people that will go, the Savills will definitely be on my top 3. I'm definitely going to speak to them. So but the difficulty is...
They've built the brand. They've established the expertise. They've demonstrated the social proof. It's just a triple whammy, isn't it? We've got a couple of conversations here. We've got Peter Lawrence, many of you know from Lawrence Rand. Lawrence Rand works with Brief Your Market and Dataloft, great suppliers, never standing still and always looking to improve their companies. Thank you, Peter. Lovely feedback. We have generic Facebook user, do a Jackie Weaver on me, which I don't really get, but I'm assuming they want something bad to happen to me is what I take from that. So we're going to skip past that one now. Damon, you spoke there about, and I joked about it, about the battle of the inbox these days. But why is email marketing still so effective?
I think it's the simple concept. I just want to say a massive thanks to Peter Lawrence as well. I think, he talks about moving companies forward. You can't move your company forward unless you have the great input that Peter Lawrence and others do in the marketplace. Is a real shining example of a great businessman for me. So thank you, Peter. Why is email marketing still so effective? It still is the most cost-effective way of reaching the masses. And I think when you do exactly what Rory was talking about a minute ago, where you put hyper-local content in at the right time and you send out a communication, you get a high engagement ratio for a relatively low cost. The email marketing will only continue to grow. However, saying that, I think, if I went back 8 years in my life, it was, right, letters are going to die and everything's going to be email. And you're starting to see people saying, well, will social media take over email? And actually, it's a load of rubbish. The reality is that the multimedia marketing strategy of doing some letters, some email, some social media, and actually really agonizing over the marketing strategy, which is where we help a lot of customers as well, is where it always really presides. However, saying that, you can get email really, really wrong. One of my most favorite studies that I ever read was Big Pen, where 98% of their email went into spam because someone wrote the pen is blue, and if you delete the space between pen and is, you get a completely different word to what you thought you were stating. I think that's where, again, Brief Your Market's a very safe platform. We put in a lot of connotations to really understand those factors and deliver great emails into customers' inboxes.
I like. I was just gonna. There's this. Sorry, Simon. Whenever I speak to you, I have to quote something from Seth Godin.
That's
because
right.
I'm a bit of a
because you associate me at that level with Seth Godin is what I'm reading into that.
Well, you're much better. You're much better looking, but you're on the same intellectual level.
Yeah. Well, so I thought it was the only book you've read, Rory. As soon as I.
Oh, he says so. Seth Godin, like when he talks about building a brand, he says you've got to launch a brand that people will want and resonate with, and all the rest of it, and then you build it up and you launch it, and then he says that the most important part is you've got to then show up consistently for years and years to build confidence in your brand. And that's the bit where a lot of us fail as companies. We launch it, we get it out there, and then we don't nurture it and promote it. And actually, apart from social media, how else would you? Email is the most appropriate way of just keeping that ticking over. Keep showing up, keep showing people what you're doing, and building that brand. And I still don't think there's a better way of doing that. But I mean, you do need to mix up your marketing, but
Love it.
Still does that so well, I think.
And you just mentioned it, the previous example as well with your friend Lucian and Savills. That is just it's that drip, isn't it? Just coming through. That hasn't just happened because they've put out a news story that has caught your eye in 1 week. It's because it's been happening over the weeks, months, and years. And again, it's just that classic. It's the consistency point that is so important. I want to drill into just a slightly different area, though. We spoke about hyper local marketing. What does local actually mean? How local is local?
Shall I do that? Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about Dataloft Inform, which we go right down to postcode sector level. So I mean, it's
you're not doing just generic, town. It's not like just Wrexham, is it? You're able to drill down into much more detail than that.
Yeah, I mean, I think talking about the market as a whole is great for sharing on email by an agent. Talking about your town is even better. But then if you can go right down to the area that someone actually lives in, it's got that real wow factor because you can't get more relevant. So that's what we can do, and we can produce market reports and charts and stats and commentary and all sorts right down to that level. And that's for the new build market, lettings market, and sales market. And so our most proactive subscribers they're really wowing people with how relevant they are. And actually, that's really nice. So, because the most important thing on an email is that you draw people in with something that catches their eye and they find useful, and then you've got a really good call to action. And it's such a natural fit to draw people in with maybe a killer stat, not give too much away in the email, for example. And then the obvious call to actions. You've talked about your town. You've said what's going on really locally. Now find out how much your house is worth. And so we find, so when we do Brief Your Market plus Dataloft Inform emails, we get a lot of people clicking for a free valuation. And it's such an obvious step. So to then go right down to what's happening with my particular property. So, and I think actually estate agents are really lucky because in other sectors, it's quite hard to find content to share with people. It's really hard work.
Yeah, but you say that, Rory, but I've got 6,000 doses of Viagra in my back room, so. Property is by definition one of those most alluring content pieces that anyone could hope to aspire for.
Everyone loves it. Everyone loves talking about it. So it's the most obvious thing for an agent to share, but it's obviously difficult to get hold of that information and get hold of really good information.
Yeah, Rory, can I just add in? I think one of the reasons why we're blown away with what Dataloft do and Data Inform, I never know which one to call it, to be honest. So I'm just going to start saying data. Is it's not just about the content that Rory's company produces. It's about the simplistic way that they display the content. So, that, and I think that's where the real magic that Rory and his business does. So, he talked about it earlier, that simple hook. And I think we're just seeing that in droves, that it's really, really simple. It captures the hearts and minds, and it drives traffic. And that's breathtaking, really. That is breathtaking.
And that, what's the important, because Rory knows I'm biased. I love the stuff that Dataloft Inform puts out there. I take the trouble to understand and learn what my partners have, Damon, but don't worry about that, Anyway, I'm not going to go there. But how important is that visual element there, Damon, in terms of getting people's attention in an email that Dataloft do so well?
Yeah, and that's the bit I was talking about a minute ago, which is that, it's a real fine art where if you don't give enough information, you're not going to get the click through. If you give too much information, then you're not going to get the click through as well. So, that visual content, that strap line that's going to drive intrigue into users' behavior to make them hungry to drive into doing something with the email is a real gift that data inform, as Simon rightly tells me. It is the bit that's kind of stand out for us, absolutely stand out. And there's no one better in the industry that's doing that than Data Inform, which I kind of remind Rory a lot all the time.
Top and tail it for us then, guys. What will a client of Brief Your Market, teaming up with Dataloft, what will they be able to see and do within the software?
Do you want me to take this one, Rory? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think there's a couple of sides to it that need consideration. So first of all, you've got this absolute ingestion of data from Data Inform. So you've got two sides. You can either utilize our comms managed service that do a plethora of other aspects, as well as put together key messages, social media messages, etc., and drive the content out. Or you could actually utilize the Data Inform data inside BYM and put your own spin onto the content, and again drive and play with what these guys have done to really drive engagement through your database. So you'll see a huge upturn in how people are engaging by marrying the two pieces of software together.
Yeah, there's lots of different options. By the way, Damon, it's Dataloft Inform. You have to add your loft on. So
complex. Why can't you just call BYM?
I'll just change.
Can we concentrate with him getting the word ingestation, whatever that means is, and plethora? We've got a whole host of just English basics to deal with him rather than worrying about data and everything else.
What's wrong with plethora? What is wrong with that?
Plethora. It's plethora. But we're not going to do this now. This was meant to be a bullet shot of innovation and everything else. Now, stop interrupting Rory and let him make his point, Damon.
No, the email. I mean, there's so much variety you can do with the emails, and the guys at Brief Your Market are having fun exploring it. So, you could use an infographic, for example. So, that kind of having something visual and not wordy is absolutely the way forward. And what you want to do is you want to lead people in with small amounts of information or email, and then sort of entice them to click through to something either on your website, whether it's a blog or whatever. So infographics are great for email. So we publish 8 a month, and they all explore different topical kind of pieces on the market. So yeah, a picture tells 1,000 words. So if you can just glance at an infographic which explores an interesting topic, and then the most proactive users, as subscribers we have, what they often do is they'll take the infographic, the inspiration, the story from it, and then they'll weave that into a blog. So they'll entice people by showing the infographic, and then you'll click through to read a blog.
Nice.
Or they might click through to read a kind of full page of local market insights, which feed through from Inform. And then you've got your call to action. So you've got your book evaluation, or come and speak to us about property. Or you might strip your email right back and just have a real killer stat. Prices are up by 25% in your market, or the supply and demand balance means that put your property on your market now and it will sell really quickly. So you pull people in that way. And then there's other tools you can use from Inform, like we've got a whole range of market reports. So you could get their interest, and then you could say, if you'd like to receive a monthly market report, then click here, and then suddenly you've got like that continuation, and they've basically invited you to stay in touch over the long term. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of different ways you can use the content.
Right. I'm guessing this is stage 1, is it? Where do you see this partnership going in the future?
Yes,
Well, that didn't bode well.
No. It's, I mean,
we see it going nowhere.
What partnership?
No, we're working more and more closely and getting to know each other's products really well. So Damon's comms managed team, basically when we've got mutual subscribers, they basically log into that agent's Inform account, and they pull out the content, they load up the emails, and yeah, I mean it's getting better and better. And obviously on Inform, there's lots of other collateral. There's flyers. Damon, Briefing Market's got a print arm to them. We've got prospecting letters. Which can tie in, so that there's obviously your comms managed team do social media too, and there's lots of content there. So I think it will just grow and grow.
Can I just add into that?
Yeah.
Do you mind, Simon? Sorry. Chris Watkins just actually texted me and said there's no one better than Dataloft. So
there's this guy keeps following me around, but I've not heard of him before. But thank you.
I just wanted to add on to the partnership. I think, where Rory rightly said that, we log in, we take the data, and we do that for customers. There's also a lot of common customers that don't utilize our comms managed service, and therefore we really want to dovetail both Dataloft and BYM. We really want to entwine the software a lot deeper. So we have something called a campaign library where we write content and people can utilize that. I'd love to see that placed inside BYM, so people who do sign up to Dataloft or haven't signed up to Dataloft can inside our software and really, join ourselves together. So it's a lot easier for our common customers.
And I think I just heard a Kerfuffle exclusive. You refer to your clients as common. Can I just get clarification on that, David?
Our common customers means mutual.
I said mutual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to say the professional way to say is the muggles. The muggle customers are going to.
You're supposed to be helping us win business, not lose customers.
Well, I think you read the wrong mission statement. I'll try here now. Peter Lawrence, as per EA Master report last year. This is what people are looking for, basically, your own clients, so the largest one of its type. Clients look for 1, confidence in ability, 2, market knowledge, 3, liked and trusted. Get this in that order, and it's a winner, and both of these suppliers can help you with this.
Oh,
I know
Peter.
you left Kerfuffle out of there, Peter, so thank you for that.
Well, Peter's a man after. I mean, I love that, Peter. I mean, I've got that literally written in front of me. Because we're very lucky to be able to analyze that home moving trend survey every year. And the actual stat is for 82% of sellers, and this is really interesting. Fees are not the primary reason why they choose their agent. The primary reasons are trust, market knowledge, and, as Peter said, and confidence in ability. So, this whole bit about, having really good emails and really local and relevant content is this whole bit is about trust.
Yeah,
it's about how do you build trust in your brand. Sorry, I'm going to quote Seth Godin again. God, what's wrong with me? Anyway, but I thought this was really interesting because he says in virtually every industry, the trusted brand is the most profitable. And actually, so it's not about just attracting, and generating instructions, but it's about long-term how you build your brand. And if you're seen as, so Savills are not in the sphere of reducing fees or entering any negotiation on fees whatsoever. And I know it's really easy for me to say that because I'm not an agent every day, but if you can add little bells and whistles, like being able to share your knowledge, show your stuff, giving them a market report every month for free or various other things, then you can kind of say, well, this is part of my customer charter. This is what we do as an agent. This is what we're about. And therefore, hopefully, the fee discussion becomes less important to people because they've picked you for other reasons. So it's quite an interesting one.
It is. It's really interesting to look at it from that angle. And we've got Tortoise Property here just jumping in. With Dataloft, Inform and BYM working together, will there be a point where BYM's automation system works with Dataloft Inform's data? See, Damon, even they can get that right. In order to nurture those who would like monthly market updates. Then he just follows up with if the tortoise. I don't know. Is a tortoise a he or a she? I'm going to get myself into a whole dodgy area here now. And if so, is there a timescale for such a thing?
So I'll probably take this one. So 100%. I think that is exactly what we talked about, where we want to drive the product much tighter together. So time scale on that, I think that'll be partly us and partly data.
You'll have it Friday, Tortoise Property. You'll have it Friday.
So I'd definitely say that it'd be something that we want to nail this year. Okay. And that is definitely, in fact, I'll be really open and candid. Rory and I met yesterday and we were talking about today, and we were also talking about how we want to really drive the partnership a lot harder and get the software a lot closer together. So, this is not just talk. We really want to get that done because we see the fantastic advantages that we can give our mutual customers, for you, Simon, that is, really better advantages by utilizing both pieces of software.
Yeah, and there's obvious things to automate, sending out monthly market reports, doing like anniversary emails, sharing certain stats every month. So, there'll be certain things that will fit really well with automated emails, and others that we'd always recommend that, need a human touch to them. So, if you can find an infographic or a topic and then spin it into a local story, it's much more powerful. So it's a kind of combination of both, really.
Got you. And Rory, you mentioned lettings and looking to help nurture landlords and everything else there. So often when we talk about these partnerships and deals and integrations, the letting side of things is left by the wayside. Are you saying that you are going to be able to help nurture that side of things by this tie-up for your clients?
Yeah, definitely. So we've got, we can do that now, basically, if we've got any mutual subscribers. But yeah, we're building this unique sort of lettings data set, which is based on rent paid transactions, and it's a really rich set of data that no one else is pulling together. And we've already got market reports and flyers and stats and commentary and infographics that we can share. And yeah, why not? I mean, it's not just so, you want to stay in touch with landlords or potential landlords and share, even, the basics of sharing like a market report once a month go a long way to doing that. But also don't want to leave out your tenants either, because I think in the home moving trend survey, I think it was something like almost 20% of tenants said they were going to buy in the next 12 months. So why are you not nurturing them with information on the market too? So yeah, there's information. And developers too. There's content for all those things. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to add as well, Simon, that and here you go. I'll give you a Kerfuffle exclusive. We've just launched Build Lettings to our beta customers this week. So first started rolling out Build Lettings where you can attain new landlords, and I think and Peter Lawrence will be a key part of that as well, along with a lot of other great customers. However, when you then bind the content of Dataloft Inform, and I finally got it right, and acquiring new landlords, and also then the archive database and current database of landlords and tenants, you can really start to create some fantastic nurture journeys that will yield a lot of new business.
Fantastic stuff. Fantastic. And we mentioned before, it isn't just about email, is it? So what other ways are there that they can use Dataloft BYM other than just email?
I'm assuming that's me again. So so it's a bit like I was talking about earlier, which is you need to really go across the marketing mix. So briefing market covers SMS, emails, surveys, letters, canvassing cards. We do e-zines. We've obviously also got Yondell for live chat. So drive-in, business that's when you're out of office straight into live chat, so we can book you appointments in your diary while you sleep, which is a great phrase that we all love, which is making money while you sleep. And really
now.
and social media as well. So we're covering the whole marketing mix. so we can really drive the right content on the right channel at the right time to the right person.
Yeah, and it's really important for us because we've got the content, but we want to see it being used right across the marketing spectrum, quickly, easily, no hassle. And so, the tie-up with Damon and the Brief Your Market team allows us to pump that content out in various directions really easily. And it will develop more and more over time. So, yeah, it's all good stuff. Great,
guys. And finding out about you, just find you in the normal places. Go to bym.co.uk, Dataloft as well, .co.uk. Can find you on social, can't they? Obviously, you can go to the landing pages, guys, on kerfuffle.com. If you're interested in knowing a little bit more, just click on the Inquire Now button and we will pass those all on. But it does sound really interesting, guys. It'd be lovely to talk to people like Peter and a few of your clients down when they've been using it for a while to see how this has actually worked out in the marketplace, hearing it from the coalface.
Sounds good.
Damon's muted, but he doesn't know how to work technology.
Yeah, no, I just said it sounds awesome, and I'm assuming that you're wrapping us up, but I was just going to say,
I'm just going to take it. Because we look like a boy band, so I quite like that.
I was just going to say a massive thanks, Simon, for putting this together. I know your team worked really hard, and all the preparation that you've done has been incredible. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for everyone tuning in to listen as well.
Thank you for all the feedback, actually, then, especially my own little stalker. I follow you everywhere. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. I do have a very particular set of skills, Mr. Watkins. So cease and desist. Gents, brilliant tie-up. Keep it up. Do come back and let us know how it's all working out for everyone. But from today, thank you very much.
Thanks everyone. Take care. Bye.
See you later.